Holy shit.
Hello, hello.
Hello, friend. So, what do you think?
I think you should go first, actually.
Oh no. Okay. Um, I really enjoyed it. I was having a blast again. I think this episode gave us a lot of opportunities to see new actors take a front. Like, I think the actor who plays Harrow Harkonnen had a lot of really great moments. I like uh bu- 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 there was a lot of Dune stuff in this episode. The Padishah Emperor, Han
Yeah,
Lee, these conversations about like the the visions, the kind of group thing was interesting. Um, and yeah, I like the idea of everyone's visions having a personal twist of anxiety and fear, and then going deeper, and it brings you to Arrakis, and deeper than that, and it's the worm, and deeper than that is this thing that is looming at the periphery. And again, this feels very like the tyrant, like the, RFL, still getting very robot vibes from the blue eyes. So I'm enjoying it. I Huge questions. I mean, just
huge
the
questions,
biggest,
yeah.
vastest questions. Uh, uh, First of all, Ixians mentioned. So now we have Ixians on the playing field. They have nice subtle tattoos on the back of their bald heads. Uh, but we got lots of plurb scenes. That was fun. Um, the cowards of Corin back in the club many times. Yeah, what is
What are some of the questions then that you're
yeah.
left lingering with?
Yeah. Well, Desmond he's a self-flagellator. He's a punisher. He does the self there's a term for it, I'm forgetting. Um
Wait, does
eh,
he?
I
I
think
thought it was
so.
implied the use of the power is what causes him pain
No, I think
because he uses the power in the throne room and then his jacket gets bloody in the
it
back
starts
and he
bleeding, but
falls
I
to
thought
his
that was
knees.
his wounds opening. I mean, it definitely causes him pain physically. I'm not sure. I can't tell
Okay,
because then there's the meeting with Habako and him in the room, and Habako
yeah,
goes, "I didn't know about your back."
yeah,
So, so yeah, okay, so maybe it is his power. I don't know. I was like, oh, so there are consequences to these. There's a physical tax to that
yeah,
power. So
definitely.
that, but there was that shot of the his point of view with the worm coming, which was like,
Yes,
oh my God. And then the two eyes that merged into one that is then in his one eye. So that's seems to be tying him. So maybe he is the reckoning, as kind of heavy handed as that might be. And
yeah.
then Theodosia is a fucking shapeshifter. She's
Right.
a,
Not face dancer, I guess, technically, because
I don't know.
that would
I
make her
don't,
Tleilaxu, and I don't think there are any Tleilaxu sisters ever.
but maybe that's the thing because she seems to be a shapeshifter.
Yeah.
This is her talent.
I was very confused by the last scene. Why was she shapeshifted into Griffin? Did that make sense to you?
I think she shapeshifted into to Griffin as part of her acknowledgement of Valia that I understand, like her statement of I understand what you've given. She decided to take the form of Griffin to have that conversation to really like underscore it all. Also, of course, because television is television, we're watching it and we're going, is this another memory? Is this what is this
Yeah.
hallucination? And then we realize it's Theodosia. And if you rewatch the scene with that in mind, all of the lines have a double meaning where she goes, I understand why you, what it took for you to come here and what it took, what you've sacrificed. And I'm willing
Yeah.
to make the sacrifice. And Valia goes, did
I
I
see.
push you too far? And again, all of that has double meaning because, of course, you can be
Yeah.
saying that to Griffin. Did I push you too far to say you should track down Vorian? But also, she's saying it now to Theodosia. Have I pushed you too far? And Theodosia says, no, we own our own decisions. And
Gotcha.
so
Okay.
I think it was dramatic flair for as much as it seems like it hurts her based on the sound effects at the
Yeah.
end. I'm like, wow,
Sounded
that's
painful.
dramatic as fuck.
Yeah.
But
and she
But
swore she would never
nevertheless,
do it again. So to do it for such a callous,
could have been an
cryptic
email.
thing could, yeah, like
But
this
I,
face
I don't
dancer
see it as
transformation
callous. Yeah.
could have been an email for
It could have
sure.
been a text. I don't see it as callous because I don't think she was like torturing Valia with this moment with Griffin. Like I don't see the tail end of that as Valia going, "Oh, I can't believe you did that to me." I think it was Valia understood it was part of the overall statement because again, Valia ends by saying, "Thank you, Thea." She's like, "Thank you for
Yeah,
doing what
yeah.
I knew
No,
you had to
I
do as a
understand
last resort."
I understand Valia's side of it. What I don't understand at all is Theodosia's side of it, of that entire final scene and that entire interaction.
Yeah.
But maybe we're
Um,
teasing something in episode five.
Yeah, I'm not. So I wrote my second to last question. My second to last line of notes is
Hmm.
Theodosia a faith stancer? And then how do we explain this in Dune lore? So naturally, the Dune
Yeah,
explanation might just go completely out the window because she's a weird mutant, or she's a
right. We're in X-Men now.
maybe she's a shape, maybe she's a thinking machine. Um, like Herbert lore has like flow metal and like machines
Hmm.
that have like that are like human like, which would
Okay.
explain why Theodosia had reservations about being brought to the imperial court. Like, what if she's discovered? You know,
Okay.
um,
Yeah.
that that would be something. And there was a sort of like she becomes sort of translucent and transparent. So maybe it's like her skin is everything. All of that is like a simulation of stuff. Um, Not
Yeah.
like a visual, but like a physical, like flow metal, like machine technology. Um,
Yeah.
that could be an explanation. I don't think Dune fans are gonna like that explanation, but that could
Right.
explain.
Right.
Um, I liked Tula calling out Takako's theory that Lila could be the twice born,
Yeah.
which like hadn't even occurred to me after
A lot
episode
of
three.
folks have had that theory this week. I've seen it everywhere online.
Yeah, and now I feel stupid because it didn't even occur to me.
It
I was like,
didn't
oh
occur to me
shit,
either until I
oh
started
no,
seeing people talk about it online. Until I saw the
yeah,
trailer.
yeah. Um, yeah, so there was a lot. I mean, I have like 5 or 6 pages of notes from this episode. A lot of spooky stuff. The breakfast setting of the Carinos was like the most beautiful breakfast table I've ever seen in my life. I want
Yeah,
to
the
eat
food
breakfast
in
there
this
every morning.
episode made me
The
real
food
hungry.
looks
It's
great.
like lunchtime and I haven't eaten anything all day, so that might be a factor. But a lot of yummy food on the sets of this episode for sure.
That does seem like the proto Hunter Seeker, which is kind of cool. Like an early version of the Hunter Seeker, a sort of
Yeah,
like
a more
self,
automated version. Yeah,
yeah, machine. And Travis Flamel just had so much fun throughout this entire episode. His like description of predators on Arrakis, where he's like, "You have the things, and you have the hunting spiders," and he does a little
yeah,
dance. I
yeah,
was loving it the whole time. Anyway, so I had a great time. I feel like
yeah.
I feel like you didn't.
I did
Talk
not.
to me.
Yeah,
Talk to me.
I did not. And I definitely want to rewatch and sit with it and try to decipher some of my own questions that I'm left with. So I'll try to zoom out instead of you already touched on a lot of the little things that I had noticed as well.
Yeah.
Um, Mentions of Ixians. There's a Mentat mention in there as well. Throwaway line about a Mentat.
Oh, yeah. The Bene Gesserit said their Mentat calculations. Uh,
Yes.
yeah,
And we got Conley. So we got a lot of sort of like fan servicey nods toward Dune concepts throughout this episode. Some of which I thought were fine, some of which I thought were a little fan servicey and pointless. Um, I structurally zooming out structurally, again, I have issues with the storytelling of this show.
mm,
Like, if you're gonna do palace intrigue, there has to be intrigue. And we spent most of this episode following all of the players scheming, and we, the viewer, have are clued in on everyone and everything that's happening.
yeah,
And I think that is a weakness in storytelling. I think back to Children of Dune. One of my favorite chapters is when Jessica and and Alia are sitting on the throne together,
yeah,
and all hell breaks loose. For people who know, I don't want to get too spoilerific into it if you haven't read that far yet. But in that we go into that scene practically knowing nothing of anyone's
Yeah.
motivations, and then all hell breaks loose, and it's crazy, it's juicy. You're like, what's happening? Um, I felt that parallel here in this uh,
Uh-huh.
Lance Ride meeting scene, except we knew every character's motivation and everyone's plan going into it. So I really felt the lack of like actual intrigue going into the Lance Ride meeting, and then the way it actually panned out with Desmond just kind of like winning the day was also felt kind of weak and plot wholly inconvenient to me, because how did Desmond find the rebels? The sisters know about the rebels, but Valia, that wasn't Valia's plan to leak that to anyone.
No, it was Natalia. Natalia gave him a straight up list, a hit list of all of the
Right,
houses that are buying and trading in illicit technology. And
right.
he used that to pilfer the club of fam, of all
Yes.
fam.
So exactly, right.
And
And
that was that little
that's
hit,
like
that
mighty
hit
mighty
squad.
convenient to have Desmond have that moment. And that's like we haven't set that up in any way, so there's no
Mm.
payoff in any way.
But
I
I
get
also think
you know,
I do think that they've done work to lay the groundwork of Natalia being a Spider Master, Master of Whispers style character. Like she, especially in this episode where we discover it was not Constantine telling the blonde girl.
yeah. Oh, okay, FaceTime. Thumbs up. Um, yeah, yeah. I
Um,
would disagree on that. I don't think they've set Natalia up to be any sort of Varys style Game of Thrones, like what Master of Whisperers.
but I think that's
Um,
what this episode did because you and I both assumed that it was Constantine talking to the blonde girl while they were having sex that she then told her father because that's what we assumed. And we assumed that based on what the show showed us, of course. But like that is, as it turns out, not the case. Maybe
that is the case.
she
No, that is what happened. And then the rumors of the murder among the
oh
court
among
and
the
other
Lance
great
Rad.
houses is
Oh,
Natalia
so
among the
so
Lanceret. Yeah,
okay.
so
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was Constantine, because the Emperor says himself, like, "Boy, shut the fuck up! You're the one that got us in this mess."
yeah. Yeah.
So that
But
first part
the
was
okay, fair,
Constantine.
fair, fair, fair.
Natalia is just
But
spreading more
the but
rumors.
the escalation of it all, it's like
Yeah,
we assume it's Constantine or we assume it's I don't know. I think that the as whispers are starting to build, we go, is this the Bene Gesserit? Is this a and then to find
yeah,
out that
yeah.
it
But
is in
for
fact
her to have like
Natalia.
all this intel, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not
Mm,
an issue
okay.
with Natalia as a character. It's an issue with the MacGuffin of the
I
we have
have
this
proof of
magic
them,
intel, so
whatever,
you
yeah.
can pull this shit at the Lance Ride meeting in the next scene. That felt like a little convenient.
Yeah.
Also felt like we wasted then a lot of time scheming with a dozen different people for all of that to like practically not matter. Um, yeah, the court palace intrigue stuff is just not working for me. I do find the Wallach Nine stuff more interesting. I
Mm,
like the
yeah.
shared consciousness dream that the sisters are having.
Yeah. Kind of a
There's a lot
spice
of
orgy.
very blatant Leto 2 imagery in this.
Yeah.
Still, to me, feels like a red herring. I think it would be very bold to go in that direction, and I don't think they will, but I think they're teasing it out intentionally for the
Yeah.
Dune super fans like
It
us.
seems like it. Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of Leto 2 imagery, the eyes that they're drawing. God is watching us. Sister Emmeline, I think, says that during the trance.
Yeah.
Um, and obviously for us, that Leto 2, God Emperor is watching us, is where the mind goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll see if that comes into play. I'm still a little um, skeptical of that. Um, all the club stuff feels like a CW show, which I know is harsh, but it
Yeah.
truly, like, the writing drops like 10 octaves. I don't know if
It's
that's a
so
good thing.
weird. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
shocking. The writing goes from like really great writing with Valia um,
Yeah.
to like really amateur writing as soon as we get to the club stuff and anything with Kieran Atreides. It's actually jarring. Um, and yeah, I have rejected. Many people online have made this like CW comparison, this like teen rom com comparison. I've
Yeah.
rejected that up until this episode, but like I could just not get through those club scenes. It was rough. Um, Another thing I thought, I know we're at time. I know you have to run.
Yeah,
Uh,
no
I
worries.
I do think we might be maybe subtly nodding at. Maybe it won't come to anything, but this could be an origin point for the fear is the mind killer, the mantra, because
Oh,
Tula keeps repeating like fear is the thing that's driving
yeah,
these
yeah, yeah.
sisters to have
Interesting.
these
Yeah,
dreams. Fear is the thing that's controlling them, and so maybe then they develop like a mantra to control these types of
that's
things.
cool. They
So
needed to
that
give
might
an
be
origin
cool.
story for the number one Dune tattoo in the
Yeah,
universe.
yeah. So I'll wrap up. I don't want to like unnecessarily keep bashing it. I want to sit with it. There were things I liked for
Sure, sure, sure.
sure. I'm
Yeah,
excited
yeah,
to 23 and Me Desmond's Blood and find out what's going on with him. I hope we
yeah.
really get things moving. A lot of that's my other zoomed out criticism is like a lot of this episode was rehashing the things we've already learned in 1, 2, and 3.
Continued mysteries. Yeah, and
And
they've
instead of
given us
pushing
like
things forward, we're either adding layers of mystery or continuing to rehash mysteries that we've already
you know.
established. And with just 2 episodes left, I'm like, damn. It feels like we're doing a lot of setup for a season 2 that is not greenlit, and that is, I'm not confident that's a way you can successfully make a show in today's media landscape.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think it's like the next episode is going to be it's going to have to answer a lot of big questions so that the final
it has
episode can
to.
be the characters reconciling those answers and
Correct.
figuring out what those mean.
I think you're
I
right.
I like that they really are teasing out these things, giving us like incrementally more hints and clues. But
Yeah.
it's true that like this does feel like a rehashing of, yeah, Desmond's still very mysterious. Look how
Right.
mysterious he is. I do like that he mentioned scared of the devil too, referring to Shai Hulud. And
Yeah.
that's a reference to Shaitan, right? Shaitan, Shai Hulud. The like
Exactly.
duet.
Exactly.
I was
The
like,
worm
there was some
imagery, the Leto. Yeah.
anyway. So yeah, very, very
Yeah.
cool.
Lots to talk
We'll
about for
talk more about
sure.
it. Yeah, for
A
sure.
lot of fun lore details. I think we'll have a fun minutia segment in the episode for this,
Oh my God,
because
yeah.
like Conley, all the Leto two deep cut references,
Yeah.
a lot of. I mean, there's a very clear Manfred Toronto
Oh my
and
God,
Desmond
yeah.
line to draw
Larry, yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
his speech in the Landsrad
We have to draw a hard
here was
line, blah, blah, blah.
practically a
Yeah.
chapter lifted right from Sisterhood of Dune. So there will be a lot of fun lore things to dig into in this episode for book readers, that we'll get into, regardless of the again like the things I'm really having fun with, regardless of the
Yeah,
storytelling choices
yeah,
of the show itself. A lot of fun Dune lore things in here.
yeah, for sure. All right, dude. We'll talk
Okay.
more.
Yes. Thumbs up
Okay. Yeah.
indeed.
Thumbs up indeed.
Oh
So,
hey.
so we'll talk
Okay.
more.
All
And
right.
yeah, plenty to dig into.
Plenty to dig into. Okay. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.